Hey everyone, Crazy Jimmy here with another video. Today I want to focus on some full-length releases from two bands, both alternative country bands. The first one I want to talk about is the first band that Ryan Adams was in, and that is Whiskeytown. So I'm sure everyone here watching is familiar with who Ryan Adams is, and that's Ryan, not Brian. Uh, Ryan Adams with an R. And before Ryan Adams became this prolific solo artist, he fronted an alternative country band that kind of was born out of the ashes of Uncle Tupelo, meaning Uncle Tupelo kind of gave everyone the blueprint, to have that alternative country sound with a little bit of garage and punk thrown in there. And then Whiskeytown kind of ran with it. But this is definitely, there's really no punk in Whiskeytown. It's in very little garage. It's alternative country pop all the way through. And I wanted to showcase a couple amazing, not only great sounding albums, but great albums front to back. And the first one I want to show you is Pneumonia, and there it is here. And the back, it's on two LPs, clear vinyl LPs. Go ahead and pop it out for you and show you. And this is they're three sides. So basically, there wasn't enough music to have a side D. Wait a minute. No, they did do a side D on this, I think. Wait. Nope. So side D is basically is blank. So, but there's the record. Crystal clear. I love crystal clear vinyl. And it actually sounds really good. And the music on it is just phenomenal. This album here is closer to pop rock than alternative country. Now, there is some alternative country songs on here, but it's closer to pop rock, especially like indie rock, in the Elliott Smith vein. Like side B, there's three tracks, Mirror Mirror, Paper Moon, and What the Devil Wanted, that really sound like early Elliott Smith songs. Even the vocals will remind you of Elliott Smith, and some of the production touches certainly remind me of Elliott Smith. But then it jumps back to side C, which is really good alternative country pop. So check out Pneumonia as this was Ryan Adams' last album with the band Whiskeytown. And then he basically, I believe he actually was recording Heartbreaker at the same time this album was released. So this was released in 2001, I believe. And Heartbreaker was released around then as well. This was actually completed, though, I think in 1999. It got delayed. And then their first album on vinyl. This isn't their first album. They've had albums before this. I think Faithless Street was one of them, which is never released on vinyl. But this is the first one that's on vinyl, called Stranger's Almanac. This is widely considered Whiskeytown's best album. And I would agree with that. Although Pneumonia is like right there with it. Sound quality on this is phenomenal. Really great sounding pressing. 4 sides of music on this, with some live in the studio radio performances on side 4. So if you do get the vinyl, you'll get that. So this is an original pressing. This has gone through some represses, meaning they've taken the same metalwork and just pressed more of them. So don't go spending $150 on this if you want it. And I think everyone should own this. It should be in every collection. Wait for it to get another metalwork repress, and you get it for between $40 and $80. But certainly anything over that, I don't know if it's necessary. So that's Whiskeytown, Ryan Adams' first band. Now let's talk about another one I want to hit on is the band Wilco, which is most certainly from the ashes of Uncle Tupelo. I could also show Sunvolt too. I've got a bunch of Sunvolt records, but I want to just focus on these two bands right now because they're probably most similar, especially with an album like this, Being There, which is one of my favorites from Wilco. The three I'm actually going to show you are my three favorite. This is a double album. It's some, you'd think, wow, a double album filled with 20 tracks here and 19 tracks. There's going to be some duffers in there, but nope. This is an original pressing as well. I want to say this was 1999. 96 on the Reprise label. And this is Tweedy's band Wilco, and he kind of split off from Jay Farrar, who created Sunvolt. So, I mean, I like both bands, but let's face it, Wilco, even though I love AM, great alternative country rock, Wilco didn't become Wilco until Jay Bennett joined the band and kind of joined forces with Tweedy. And so Jay Bennett did have a very small part to play on this album. Very small. Did write some of the songs with him. But the next one, Summerteeth, is where Jay Bennett really took hold. And this is like a Jay Bennett album more than a Tweedy album. Obviously, both of them were writing on it. This is Summerteeth, 1999. I love that year, 1999, don't I? This is an original pressing. Let me show you the labels, because you don't see too many original pressings of Summerteeth out there. There were not a lot pressed. Don't know how many, but I don't think much more than 5,000 were pressed. But there's the label. And it's about 140 gram. It's not a heavy vinyl. So you'll know you'll have a first press by the dead wax. It should have Daemont in the dead wax and A1, B1, C1, D1 etchings. So, but you'll know you can match that up. It's a single pocket, not a gatefold like the repress. But really, again, this is the go-to pressing for sound quality. I've heard all the represses, and the Summerteeth original is the one that I kept. It's the one that I felt sounded the best and most true to the music. So again, this one is also poppier. This is far less alternative country than this. There's more sunshine pop on Summerteeth, which is definitely Jay Bennett's influence for sure. And by the way, there's a great documentary on Jay Bennett. I think it's called Where's Jay Bennett? That was released, and it's on Tubi, and it's also on YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. It's about an hour and 45 minutes long, and it kind of gets out his side of things, with what happened from the firing after this album here, or before this album was released. He got fired from the band. I shouldn't say fired. Tweedy kind of asked him he didn't want to work with him anymore. Didn't like the direction it was going, and Tweedy wanted to kind of take back his band, and that's the best way to describe it. I don't think it was anything that Jay Bennett did wrong based on, what I've heard from both sides. But if you watch the Jay Bennett doc and the Wilco doc that was on this, you'll kind of get both perspectives. But, at the end of the day, it was just it was creative differences. That's what it came down to. Unfortunately, Jay Bennett passed away young at 45 years old in 2009. He had a fentanyl patch he was using before surgery for his hip, and it leaked, and that's how he passed away. But this is the original on Sundays, right here, and it's like a matte finished. And you'll know you have the Sundays by the dead wax and by the finish, and it's definitely more tan. The represses are more like a light colored, like closer to cream, and the original on Sundays is definitely more tan or beige here. So and it's a matte finish. You'll have the Sundays, none such on the back there. Really thick gatefold. And let me show you the labels, or label. And just so you know, the original pressing is the go-to pressing. It's like widely considered the best pressing of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, and I agree 100%. I've heard the represses as well. Heard the box set. They just don't compare. Sorry, it's a double album, but you don't need to see both labels. Just does not compare with the original pressing soundstage. You can go online and corroborate that as well. Printed inner sleeves, naturally. So this is their 2002 original of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. This album was supposed to come out in 2001, by the way, but was delayed due to label issues. I guess the story goes that they the label ended up paying for the album twice. So what an incredible story that is. But again, Jay Bennett's all over this album, but a lot of his production touches were kind of phased out in once he left the band, because Jim O'Rourke was brought in, and they even let the drummer go, Ken Coomer, and the drumming on this is a little more jazzy. So definitely a different album. This is like an electronic version of Summerteeth and Being There. So less alt country on this and more electronic alternative pop, with the touches, with some of the production touches. But all three albums are phenomenal. They kind of, for me, Wilco kind of went into Blahville after this album. I know a lot of people will go, "What are you, crazy? A Ghost is Born" is amazing. It's just okay for me. It doesn't do anything for me. Not a single Wilco album did anything for me after Yankee. Quite generic, actually, some of the albums he's been releasing recently. So even his solo work, one with his son, it's good. It's average. But it's not something has any replay value for me. So these albums have replay value. But anyways, thanks for watching today. More content to come for sure. If you like what you're seeing and hearing, hit subscribe, comment down below. Peace out. Crazy Jimmy.